If you can make a dying child laugh, you can achieve anything. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
So what does it mean exactly? So just a quick summary. So I studied as a teacher. I started to teach, but I soon gave that up because I couldn't get really my creativity in it. So I founded a children's theater, puppet theater.
Yeah.
Did that for some time. Um, but in those days, puppet theater was a little bit downhill, so you couldn't really make a living out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched a clown on TV who had enormous success at that point in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
And the figure of that clown intrigued me so much that I wanted to do something with it because I felt, okay, this is a figure that triggers children, that attracts children. So let's do something with it. So I made a show around it. I performed as a clown. And at some point, somebody asked me if I was interested to perform for sick children in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really a challenge. I heard about it because in America it was Patch Adams who started this movement of clowns in hospitals, but here in Belgium it was like
Mm-hmm.
unknown. So it was a big challenge to start that, and together with a colleague we started it. And at some point, so we really had to do it from scratch. We had to learn as we went. And at some point, we also did palliative children, uh, which was, which means that they literally sometimes had some days, only some days to live.
Mm.
And that's where the expression comes from. You know, if you can make a dying child laugh, you can do anything. So because you know, even to get into a room of a child that has just a few days, imagine how hard it is to get into that room, because parents don't are not occupied at that moment with having a clown in the room. That's the last thing they think about. There are so many things going through their heads. So that was already a challenge to just get into the room,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course you know you learn so much about these children. You learn about yourself, about the world, about people, and that's where the expression comes from. I mean, and that's where in a later phase I had something from. Okay, if you really can do this with children, what else can you do with that mentality, with that attitude that you have as a clown? What can you do in your personal life, in your relationships, in business, etc., etc.? And I soon found out that the things that I did, that I had learned myself through 10 years of that work, they are a little bit like universal rules.
Mm.
I see them now, everybody uses them. I see memes of them. I see uh, I just watched the video of you, the not give up thing. Um, it's all, yeah, but it's all universal. The not give up thing, if, just to take that, if I put that into the sick child perspective, then it's you did it a few things as a clown. Child did laugh. Okay, it was in pain. It was about to die, etc., etc. But you didn't give up. You kept on trying and going and use other things until the child laughed. So that being said, that's my basis. It's always been my basis. And with the things that I did, I found out there were universal truths, and I now translate that to coaching, to where I'm speaking, um, because there's so much to do with this knowledge. I found it myself in those 10 years, so that I give the knowledge and I use it, and that's in brief where it comes from.
How does it feel to walk into a room, especially your first time? Like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
Just, it's like you get this eerie feeling of death's like around the corner. And
yeah,
for me personally, I feel like I would just have a lot of pressure and anxiety, and but at the same time I'm very optimistic, and I'd also feel kind of hopeful but sad at the same time, like just so many emotions. How did you
exactly.
how did you do it?
It's yeah, but it's the same in life. It's the same in life. When you start a relationship, when you do your first, I don't know what, when you're getting married and all these things, right?
Hmm.
that are all the same feelings you get. You know, you're afraid, anxiety, the pressure, whatever. So how do you do it? Well, of course, the figure of the clown helps you a little bit because it's universal.
Mm,
But in every case that I did, it is the key word is to do it. You know, to go to the parents, to just ask them, okay, can I visit? And when you get a no, then try to assure them that that will be very helpful for them, for the child, etc. Although that you don't know what's going to happen, because as a hospital clown, you don't have a scenario, you don't have anything to fall back or, besides yourself. And that's also in real life. There is nothing to fall back to but yourself. Um, I always say when you step up to a beautiful girl, you know, as a guy, you know, it can go either way, but it can't go away if you don't step up to it. So
mm,
you have to go to the parents, ask permission. Then you go into the room, you start doing things, or you just observe whatever you feel fit, and you take it from there. And that's with everything. If you start a business, it's the same. You know, you don't know anything about business. You don't know if it's going to work, if it's not going to work. There are no reassurances. There is no guarantee that your business is going to work. So you have to start calling people. You have to start, uh, I don't know, selling a product, whatever you do. So it is the same there than in life, and that's where the analogy comes. Every time that somebody asks me something or that something happens, I can always say, okay, what did I do as a clown that worked there? And that same thing will work exactly as well in real life.
mm,
That's the beauty of it, you know. So yeah, there was a lot of anxiety, there was a lot of fear, a lot of all these stuffs. Now, the more you do it, of course, the lesser that will
mm,
be, and the more you do it, your experience grows,
mm,
of course, also like in real life. And but it's still every time it's still a hard thing to
mm.
do because you know how heartbreaking it is. I don't think there's anything worse than seeing a little child dying, especially when it's your own child. I can't imagine there's
I
anything worse in the
can't.
world.
I can't either. Yeah,
Right?
I have kids myself.
Yeah, maybe there is, but okay, but even without that being said, it's always a hard thing when a child dies, right? It's not supposed to die. A child is supposed to live and have a life, etc. So yeah, that's where it all comes from. That's where it originates from, and that's what I'm trying to translate to people, which is not always simple, but yeah, well,
Did you
um,
notice
you,
any common things that you did to help the kids cheer up and smile?
what do you mean with that
Was
question?
there anything specific that you did to put a smile on their face? Like, what did you notice was something that you did that was common
Yeah,
amongst all of them to help them smile?
yeah. Um, being a clown, not acting as a clown, but being a clown, and that's for me. It's two things. It's being as honest as you can, even to the painful honesty, and and to be very open, to be very yeah, open to the child, vulnerable, to be vulnerable. And as soon as a child feels that, then they allow you to come in, right? And then the laughter will come. But before you establish this connection, there's no need to do funny stuff or to try to make it laugh. It's not that doesn't work. You first have to make the connection.
Mm,
Of course, you have a little advantage because the clown is universal figure,
mm-hmm,
right? He has a red nose, and the child immediately recognize you as a clown. So that's where you have a little bit advantage on normal people. But then, okay, that's the advantage you have. But the advantage will fall immediately if you're not honest, if you're not open, if you don't make connection with a child, it falls down immediately. That's what for example, what I did with I trained a lot of clowns to be in hospitals, and that's the mistake every beginning hospital clown makes is to to think that everything has to come from himself. It has
Mm.
to be funny. He has to make jokes. He has to do balloons. He has to do no. He has to do. He hasn't got to do anything. He needs to be a clown. He doesn't need to play a clown. He needs to be a clown. Again, here in real life, you have to be yourself, not play yourself, not being whatever. Uh,
Like
I
a
don't know.
mask.
You
Like
see
don't put
a
a
lot of
mask
people.
on. Uh,
No, you see a lot of people making movies on social media about things they are not. They go to
mm,
Dubai and they film and they do all these
yeah.
cool stuff, which is cool stuff, but it's not
It's not
them.
their
It is not them.
everyday life. Yeah.
It is something they create around themselves. And as soon as you drop that, then you are able to reach out to people, and but you have to drop that. And it's not the easiest thing to do, being yourself. It sounds very simple, but it isn't.
Like how do we be ourselves?
Yeah, it's funny, because it should be the most simplest thing to do,
Mhm.
but it isn't. So yeah.
So how do you practice showing up authentic
um
and being
I
yourself?
think practice is not the word. I think trying over again all the time and noticing, okay, but this is not me. This is not who I am. Let's do that. Let's do it another way, or let's, um, you know, some guys who are making stuff for my social media. They had this idea, and I did it, and then um, after I did it, I messaged them. Okay, this is it seemed to be a good idea, but it's not my thing. I didn't feel authentic. I didn't feel right for
Mm-hmm.
me, so we skipped it. So yeah, I think it's just watching over what you are doing, and does this feel right for
Yeah.
me? Yeah, simple example. How do you dress when you go somewhere, right? Um,
Yeah.
are you going to wear a costume and tie and go, or not? If it's the same. If you wear a costume and tie regularly, by all means, do it. But if you do it just for that occasion and then you're putting on a costume and a tie, but it's not you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Go as you are, as you normally do. But again, if you feel happy and good about yourself in a costume and tie, then do it.
Yeah.
But if not, don't do it, because it's not yourself anymore. Then you start off already with being something else that you are. Um, and it's a balance you need to find for yourself.
Why do you think that is
And
though? Why do you think a lot of people try to be something that they're not?
I think I think it is you need to be brave to be yourself. First, you need to find who you are. Who am I? What am I? That takes some time, right? If you're 18 years old, you're still looking for who you are, But the older you get, the more you know. Okay, that I don't want to do. Yeah, that I want to do. This I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's finding out yourself. It's finding yourself. It's making mistakes. It's having breakdowns. It's all that. It's all life. And at some point, and there's no age. Some people have found themselves at 20. Other people didn't find themselves at 70. There's no guideline here. No, if you're 50, then you found yourself, right? That has nothing to do with age. Actually,
Yeah.
it has something to do with mentality, with what with what happens to you in life. People that, let's say, let's just say their parents die when they are young, they will um, mature very fast at that point, much faster than somebody else. Is it good? Is it bad? There's no good and no bad, but it's a reality, and they can go either way. They can learn from it and become strong people, or they can go the other way and go into drugs or whatever. So it's all about how you face your challenges, and if you lose, or if it doesn't succeed, what are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to learn from it and pick it up again, or are you going to try something else? And it's all about what you do with what happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, again, in hospital, right? You try something with a kid, doesn't laugh. Okay, try something else. Ooh, now it starts crying. Ooh, no, now I have to do something. See, you have to constantly look for things, and of course, in my case, if you do it 10 years, then you know a few things that you are sure of that will work.
Mm,
Well, you can't be absolutely 100% sure, but let's say 90% sure. You start with a few things, so you get them going, and then you can try things,
mm,
other things. Or even, I try to keep myself fresh all the time by just doing, by challenging myself. Okay, in this room, I'm going to go in and I'm not going to talk. These kind of
mm,
little challenges I did
yeah,
for myself. Um, to keep it fresh.
yeah,
But in the end, it's you never know, but it's a child, you never know how it's going to react. Never. You come in and you have to look at it, you have to look at the environment, look at the people who are there, or the parents there, maybe a brother, little sister, whatever. And it's always different. It's never, never, never the same situation. So your reaction also has to be different every time. Again, a mistake that a lot of clowns make. They have, like, say, a magic trick, and they come in to perform the magic trick,
mm,
but they don't even know if the child likes magic, or they don't even know,
yeah.
And as humans, we do it all the time. Eh? We assume a lot of things of people. We see people on social media and we assume that they are rich, and we assume that they are successful. But we don't
Or
know.
these
And
expectations
you can't.
also that we place on
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. Also, yeah, expectations. It's also can be a burden. Eh?
Mm,
Uh, but it's like you say, you lay it on yourself. You know,
mm.
others can have expectations of you, but that's okay. What others think, they are not going to pay your rent, right? Others, but they think by what they are thinking. But what you are thinking, that's much more important. That's you pay the rent, right?
So out of, you said 10,000 different children?
Yeah,
Out of all these children, what
more
have
than.
what have they taught you about having resilience and the importance of human connection?
I think what I mostly got back is a kind of a child is that's what a clown also is very honest. It's very and honesty, for me, honesty is the key word here. Um, Also a thing that's not easy to do in real life. We are taught to be dishonest. You know, as a child, and when you break something, right? You're in class. Let's say in class, you break a glass, right? And okay, who did it? Oh, I did it. Okay, go and write this, or go and do this, or you expelled from school. Blah blah blah. Right?
Mm,
That's when you're honest. Well, next time you drop a glass, you say, no, no, I didn't do it. I don't know. I didn't know who did it. Right? And the whole class says, no, no, we don't know. Nobody did it. Right? So you learn to be dishonest. It's a process that you learn. And then at some age, you start a business or you do something, and then suddenly you feel I need to be honest to if you sell a car and you are honest to the one who you are selling it to, you say, okay, I don't think this is the car for you, sir. I mean, maybe you, because you have three children, maybe an SUV is better than a sports car for you.
mm,
But I'm just painting it black and white here. Um, then at that point, dishonesty will help you to sell the car, because if you say, oh yeah, that sport car is really for you, and you sell him the sports car. But if you are honest, you sell him the SUV and he will thank you later, right? Because that was what he needed, not the
mm,
sports car. Maybe he liked the sports car. So see, so honest, and then you build a business that lasts longer, because next time this person will come to you again to buy a car, right? If you sell him the sports car, he says, "Oh, this guy, he sold me the sports car. Now I can't get my children to school with it." And you know what I mean? This is black and white, of course, what I'm telling you now. But it is just like being yourself. Being honest is sometimes very, very hard.
mm.
Also in a conversation with people, I try to be honest, but
It's hard to
yeah,
be
it's there's
honest
one
without trying to
work.
hurt somebody's
It's
feelings.
Yeah, but sometimes it's good when you hurt somebody's feelings.
Mm,
Let me explain that. Um, you know, when your child, let's say you have somebody in puberty, right, who's 14 years old, a girl, and she dyes her hair purple, right?
mm-hmm.
Now you have two possibilities. You say, "Oh, that's beautiful," right? Or you say, "Ooh, girl, you're gonna have a lot of critics on that,"
Yeah.
right? That's being honest.
Mhm.
And you can even say, "Yeah, I don't like it. It's your thing. You do whatever you want."
Mhm.
But remember, you will get people will call you out on
Yeah.
it. So now the child goes out with two things. So one, oh, it's beautiful, it's great. It goes out, oh, it's beautiful, it's great. And it sees all these people laughing at her and talking about her back, right? And that doesn't feel good.
Mhm.
But now you told her, I don't think that's a thing for you, or you're gonna be. So now she goes out and she sees these people, and then she knows. She says, "Okay, okay, I was warned. Well, okay, it was my thing. I decided to dye my hair pink. I'll go with it." So see, this is the difference. So you make somebody stronger by maybe hurting their feelings in the beginning, but then it's a good thing, right? Then you prepare them for something.
Mhm.
And as a parent, it's sometimes easy to say to your child, "Oh, that's good, and you're the greatest, and this." But and I know sometimes honesty hurts, right? Um,
Mhm.
if a child says, "Oh, can I play football? Am I good in it?" It's dangerous to say, "Yeah, you're very good in it." It's very dangerous when you know that the child isn't very good in it. You
Yeah.
can say, "Yeah, oh, still need a lot to learn,"
Mhm.
for example, right? You don't need to say it's bad, right? Then you demotivate it. That's not necessary. But the truth is also that you're not telling an untruth by saying you still need to learn things,
Mhm.
right? It's not lying. It's the truth. Also, the truth can be said in another way too. But if you say to the child, "Oh, you're so good. Oh, you're going to be the Messi of our world, of our time," but it will come back in its face, because it's then he thinks he plays very well, but he doesn't. So at some point,
Yeah, yeah.
will be confronted, and that's not right. While if you say you need to learn things, and then when something doesn't work, when it can't score, when it loses balls or whatever, what, then it's in his mind, it's, "Oh yeah, that's true, because need to learn
Mhm.
things." And otherwise, when it loses a ball or it misses a goal, it said, "How can I'm the greatest player. How can I
Yeah,
miss?" It's only you mess kids. I think you mess kids up by lying to them,
I agree.
right? I mean, there's it's a
It's
gray
a
area,
fine
but
line between
it's a fine
between
line.
hurting their
Yeah.
feelings and then creating this narrative of delusion between how they feel and how and the truth behind it all.
Yeah. In the beginning, maybe the truth hurts, but it's an investment. You invest in your kids. You can see it like that. You really invest in their lives and their future. And yeah, try to lie as less as possible.
So you became a hospital clown. How old were you around?
I was that was in let me think, 98. So then I was 30 years old.
What were you doing before that?
So I was performing as a clown, and I was doing children's theater.
Mm,
That was what my job. That was what I did. And then at some point, somebody asked me, "Hey, do you want to do this in hospital?" So, but at that point, I was already performing, um, mostly puppet theater, mostly even educational things in schools. So that was what I did at that point. So yeah.
you do you feel like you always wanted to be a sort of creative or express yourself this way?
Um, I always felt that I was always creating things,
Mm,
even as a child. When I played, I always was creating things. I had these magic boxes. I don't know if you know, it's little cars, right?
mm, yeah,
They don't sell them. I think they are collector's
like Hot
items
Wheels,
by
kind
now,
of.
but
Hot
yeah,
Wheels.
Hot Wheels kind of things. It was called Matchbox. It was a certain kind of toy.
Yeah,
They were very popular when I was a kid, and I had a lot of them. And my father worked away from home, so he was gone for the week. And every time he came back on Friday, he brought a car, right? Which was very funny because he didn't bring it. My mother bought it, and then she put it in his bag as if he brought it. So that was
uh,
funny. Yeah. So I learned that afterwards. But again, so I had a lot of these cars, and I always was creative with it. I played circus with it, or I made an accident with it, or I. So I was always being creative and doing things, and I was always changing the cars too. So I painted them differently, or I did something else with the cars. Um, and then the other thing that I had, I couldn't really play long time with one thing, so I needed to have a lot of
Mm.
input to get me going. But I kept playing. I was a kid who also by his own, because I was an only child. That wasn't
Uh,
the reason, because there were friends in the streets I could go and play, so that was no problem. But I was always on myself, playing on myself, doing things on myself. Um, so yeah, from a young child already, the creative thing, the creating thing, creating was in it. I think the performing thing came later
mhm,
when I grew older, especially when I learned to be a teacher. That's also a little bit of performing, right? If
mhm,
you teach, then you're also in front of an audience,
mhm,
although it's a little audience, but it is an audience.
mhm,
So that came later. But the creativity, yeah, that was there from the beginning. I was always a creative kid. If and also doing other things. If the teacher said, "Okay, here's a drawing, draw something, draw a house," you know what? Then I will draw anything but a house. Right? And so that was
uh,
the rebel thing was also there. Quite young, and still
that
is.
reminds
So
me of a time I got in trouble because when I was in ninth grade in high school, I was the biggest rebel in ninth grade. I failed ninth grade actually, and I got in trouble because I was in French class and we had to draw. I forget what we had to draw. We had to draw something in French, and I drew a naked woman with big boobs. It was like cartoonish, but you could obviously tell it was a cartoonish woman with big boobs. And yeah, she gave me an F and I got in trouble for that.
oh,
But I feel the same. I There was something in me that always wanted to express my creativity. And if I wasn't expressing my creativity, I didn't feel as free and I didn't feel as aligned with who I am.
yeah, a lot of people have that. Huh? But most people, they are looking for themselves. They're still looking there, and not a lot of people find themselves. They keep looking and they keep searching for deeper things, but actually there aren't deeper things. Sometimes they keep on searching too much and they try to find reasons for everything, but sometimes things don't have a reason. And again, in clowning, why does a 3-year-old child die of cancer?
Mm,
There cannot be a reason for that. There cannot be. And if there is a reason for that, then please tell me. But there cannot be a reason for that.
yeah.
And you can search for reasons. You can search for reasons, and sometimes it helps parents who lose a child. I'm not denying that. But if you just see it as a fact, there can never be a reason for something like that. And sometimes you need to take life just as it is, just as it comes to you, and go from there. Um,
Do you have
you
a
know,
do you have a relationship with God or any type of spirituality?
it's funny. It's funny. I had a very religious childhood. My parents were Christians. We went to church every week. I did some courses about religion as a child. You needed to do that to do your, how it's called. I was baptized, so I did all the thing. And I think it was like it started when I was around 18,
Mm,
when I questioned myself and said, okay, this is all good and all, but how does it help me? How does religion help me?
mm-hmm,
Um, and then you start thinking, okay, but there's so much good in this religion, but it's people who make it bad. Each religion has its merits, each of them,
mm-hmm,
but it's always the people who misuse it.
mm-hmm,
That's always the case. They want to try. make money out of it, or they want to manipulate people or whatever. So I really think religion has merit
Mm-hmm.
for people to cling on to something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in my case, I don't, I'm not religious. I don't think there's a God. I don't think there's anything when this life stops. I think it stops. So I don't believe that there's something that comes after it,
Mm-hmm.
which gives me a reason to say you have to do it now in this life. Don't wait for the next. Do it now.
Do you
Um,
think there is
but
a next
again,
though?
I
Do you think there is a next life?
no, there. I don't believe there is a next life. I think you need to do it now.
Mm,
And when your life is over, it stops, and you only live in memories of people. And
mm-hmm.
when they die and the next generation die, you're gone. There's nothing left of you anymore. Um, and I also believe that that is the beauty of nature. If you look at nature, a tree loses its leaves fall down on the floor, and they feed the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
so other things can grow. Right? Things the same with us. Now I'm getting older, and now I understand that I need to feed right younger generation. But to be able to feed the younger generation means that I am dying. It's as simple as that. I can't
Yeah.
feed younger generation when I die. If I don't lose my leaves, I'm not feeding the younger generation. So I
Mm,
have to lose my leaves, which means elderly, which means I have to die. Um, yeah, that
yeah.
I think that's the way of nature.
And the younger generation also has to be open minded to listening.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course. But you know, there is no bad thinking and no good thinking. There's really not. It's what you are thinking.
Mm,
And if you think to go in a certain way, then by all means do. But if people listen to me and say, "Hey, there's something in that. I can use that." That's also okay, right? You can also use to other people, or you can listen to God if you believe in God, right?
mm-hmm.
Because there's some pretty good stuff in let's say the Bible. I don't know the other scriptures, but I know the Bible fairly
Mm-hmm.
well. There's a lot of good stuff in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can use that, or you can use. There are a lot of people who like me who tell you things. You can use that too, and you make your own. You make your own thing of it, right? And that's what you are going to become, or who you're going to become.
Yeah.
Um, you take things from there's nothing new in this world. That's also what I said. The things that we are saying now, philosophers were saying them thousands years ago already. There's nothing new under the sun, nothing.
Yeah.
um, and at some point you realize that, and you say, hey, it's yeah, the circle of life, right? It's circling the whole time. And but there are no new things coming. There are new technologies, right? There are
Mm-hmm.
of every kind of thing, but there's no, our mind still works the same as a few thousand years ago. It is exactly the same. um so we need to use the same things to get us at a certain point. Why would we
Yeah.
use other things when you know when our minds are still the same? It is really that. And of course there are things that happening that didn't happen before, right? You have the whole woke community, you have all this other stuff, that's all things that happen. They are happening.
Yeah.
You can't deny them. You can think it's good thing, you can think it's bad thing, but any way you are thinking is okay. Because it doesn't matter how you are thinking, it is there,
Mm,
and you have to do something with it. And you say, okay, I'm not in that thing, I'm going another way, which is fine. Or you say, okay, I'm going to hop on that train and see how far it leads me. Maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
mm-hmm.
I really don't know.
I think as
And nobody
long
knows.
as most people, it doesn't matter what you think. I think as long as you're not hurting people, if you're not hurting people.
That I think it's the main. I think that's the main message. That's why I'm also saying, in let's say the Bible, and I think that's in every religion that says you cannot hurt people, right?
Mm,
That's a wrong thing to do. You cannot steal from people. That's a wrong thing to do. I know it's in the Bible. I'm pretty sure it's in the Torah or the Islam book. I forgot the name now. Sorry, the Quran.
Around, yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure every religion preaches that. Pretty sure of that. Again, because it's universal rule, right? It's the universal rule not to steal from people. You don't steal from people, you know. And if you do that, okay, yeah, then it's your choice, and you have to see what happens when you make that choice. And it could be really bad for you.
Well,
It
I
could be
think
maybe
the
good for you. I don't
problem
know.
today is that, at least in the West, I don't know how it is over there, but for us, it's like the woke ideology and the extremism on no matter what side you're on. It's we kind of have this tribal mentality where it's like, if you
Absolutely.
don't believe in what I say, then you're wrong and you're not right, and I hate you.
Yeah.
Like, people literally hate people because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're
But that's from every
yeah,
time.
because what you're thinking isn't what I think, and we
Right.
can't agree on it. So therefore, I must hate you. Where
Yes.
it's not about that. It's just about understanding everybody has different beliefs and
Right.
perspectives, and that's what makes us human, is our
Yes.
diversity and differences in
Yeah.
opinions.
You can't go. You can't think that people who live deep in the forest of Africa think the same than
Yeah.
us. You cannot. It's impossible. But you know, it's from all times. It's again, it's thousands years back. Only the difference now is social media puts it
Mm,
in front of the whole
yeah,
world.
seeing
Now the whole
everywhere.
world is seeing
Yeah.
it. You know, a few hundred years back, you had also people who, let's say, undressed and ran around naked in forests. You had these crazy people,
Mm,
right? But okay, they were
we
like
never heard of
three
it.
people who were running naked in forest and shaking
Yeah.
their asses in the forest naked, and that was it. They came home and they put back their clothes on and they went to bed. That was it, right? But now, if you do that now,
It's all over.
everybody has a phone with him,
Yeah.
right? And literally 1 second later, the whole world knows.
Hmm.
That's the difference. Is it good? Is it bad? It is not good nor bad, but it is a fact. It is a fact that we live now in this world that is totally different than, let's say, 100 years ago. But the people who are in it, we are still the same. That's what makes it tough sometimes, right?
Hmm.
Everything is changing very fast, but we aren't. This thing
Mm.
here, this still works like 2000 years ago. They're still the
Yeah,
same.
we still have
We still have this we still have this
the tribal hunter gatherer.
dinosaur brain.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's still there.
So what led you to writing Model C in 2012?
Actually, that was a very organic process. I started to write to note things that I did. Oh, that was a good idea what I did. And soon I had these little papers and a drawer full of these little papers of everything. You know, remember that was before the internet.
Yeah, before
So we
it
still
was
wrote things back then.
widely used. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no internet then. 1998. So then, yeah, I think I did it. Yeah, I had a computer. Yeah, yeah. And email did exist also, I think, but
Oh,
internet not yet.
1998. Yeah, that was when it was
There was no internet.
starting. It was starting
It was
to get
starting,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Hmm.
starting. So yeah. So I wrote down things and they're on papers or on and I had a drawer full of them. And at some point I thought, yeah, I have to rearrange that a little bit because there was a so then I took my computer and I started typing them out. And at some point I said, well, listen, since I'm now typing these things out, let's make a book of it. That was actually the thing. And it started like, for me, it started like, oh, I have these ideas that work as a clown for children. That was the basic idea. And soon I thought, but wait, sorry. If I use this in my real life, this really could help me. Let's make it that way. And that's how the book actually came to be.
Mm. So you started writing it.
I just started writing it. Yeah, I started writing my ideas. And what is very funny is that until now, 99% of what's in the book, I still I'm still 100% behind it. Here and
Mm,
there, there's something I think that could have been written differently, or I'm thinking differently now.
mhm,
But that's just fraction of what's in the book. So yeah, and the more I'm in, the older I get, the more I see that what I wrote back then is so true and is so valuable, even if I say it myself. But hey, the truth can be told, right? And I'm really also convinced that it can help people. So
where did the title come from, Model C?
the most simplest thing you can do, it's the C comes from clown, and it's a model a clown uses to how he stands in the world. It's his model. That's how the clown is modeling things, is making things. Is so that's actually where it comes from.
And at its core, what does the book represent?
The book represents the what a clown does to children, to sick children in hospitals, and have success with it. The success there is the laughter. That's the success.
Mm,
Is how can you do this in real life? How can you have success in real life? But success in every way, right? In your relationship, in business, in talking to people, in having a career, in educating your children, etc., etc. So success is like very, very broad. Success is something that works.
mm,
Let's call it that way. Um, that's what it is. That's why all and the thing is, if you translate being a clown to being in like we are, then it is just be just use your common sense.
mm,
I think that's the lesson. That's the main lesson you can learn. That's how if a clown would be, if I would be a clown talking to you now, the adult version of it is please no nonsense and please use common sense. That's the thing a clown does. So if you translate that to now,
mm.
yeah, that's the best I can explain it. Use your common sense. Use your common sense. Just you have it. You have your common sense, and you know when you are doing something deep down, you know that it's not right what you are doing. It's
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
you feel this nagging feeling, or
yeah,
you even plainly know, oh, what I'm saying now is not the truth, or is not right, or now I'm doing something that is not going to help me, etc., etc. So
yeah.
you know. People ask me, okay, explain that. That's not you cannot explain it. You will feel it when it happens.
Mhm.
It's the same with falling in love. Explain to me what's falling in love. You cannot explain it. Yes. People say, "Oh, I feel butterflies." Excuse me, butterflies? What do you mean butterflies? It's ridiculous. I don't know where the butterflies come from, by the way. But you cannot explain being in love. How do you explain I'm in love? How do you explain it? Yeah, you love people. You miss them when they're gone, and all these things. But you cannot. You know what I mean? You have to feel it.
Mhm.
And once you feel
Yeah,
it, then it's that. That is it. Now I know what it
yeah.
is.
It's more
It's
of
the
a
same.
feeling
It's a feeling.
than an
Yeah,
explanation.
yeah. You can also not explain being in love medically. They try.
Oh, really?
Your blood pressure goes up, and all these things happen in your body, but nobody knows where it comes from. Why suddenly reacts my body that way? And I see this girl, and then my body, or boy, whatever you want, right? And now your body reacts like, and if you see another boy or girl, then you don't have that. So we cannot explain it. Well, okay, why is that?
I think it's just part of our human nature.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we need to accept it just like it is. That's also something. Why do you need to explain it? That's also
Mm,
a phrase that I often use. Why do you need to explain what falling in love is?
mm,
Enjoy being in love. Enjoy it. Don't try to explain it. Don't try to find reasons. Oh, why do I love this girl so much? Well, does it matter why? The why is not important. Enjoy being together. Enjoy the feeling,
mm,
right? Because it will fade at some time. Being in love will fade to love, and will fade to be feeling good with somebody, right? But the initial falling in love, it's short. It's short. It's from a few days to a few weeks max.
Yeah, and then but then you ask yourself what happened, like when I
Yeah.
stopped feeling
Again,
this
the why
feeling.
question. Why does this happen to me?
Yeah.
I'm not in love anymore. Not important. You at that point you're something else, and you build another relationship, and you decide, okay, am I going to go further with this girl or boy?
Mm,
But at that point, you're not saying, oh, I'm not in love anymore. Bye bye. Because then, okay, then you need to fall in love with somebody else, and it's always the same. Okay, then you fall in love with somebody else. It stops. Bye bye. Yeah. If you want to do that, it's fine. Huh? There are people who do that. Huh?
mm,
But then you are never going to, then it's like a computer game. Huh? You never go to the next level. You stay in level one all your life, which is fine, by the way, which is totally fine. If you want to stay in level one your whole life, that's great. If you're having fun there,
mm,
please have fun there, right? But if you're looking for something deeper,
mm,
or if you want a challenge, right, which we people often like, then you say, what would be a level two? Let's see. Let's go to level two. And maybe this sixth level maybe is, are we going to have children together? Maybe that's the sixth level, right? But
yeah.
again, every level is fine. Every level is fine.
I think people have trouble with that because in today's world we're always running. We're always fast paced. What do we got to do? What do we got to do? And we never just take the time to pause or reflect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pity sometimes. It's a pity that sometimes lives really passes us.
Mm,
We forget to enjoy it. We are working, working, working to get some money to buy us things, and in the meantime, that's the main reason people are working, right? To get money and to buy things. But in the meantime, we forget life. We forget that something is happening around us. Uh, and maybe it's because I'm getting older. It could be, but the older you get, the more you realize. Wait a minute, my time is here limited, right? I'm 55, so that means, uh, let's say I get to 85, which is like the
yeah.
average in Belgium of, I think it's 81 the average at this. So let's I make it to 80. That means I only have 25 years to go, and I had 55,
Mm,
right? So that must mean something. So
mm,
that now I need to think. Whoa, wait. Let's pause here, and let me enjoy the things that are happening, and let me do the things I love to do, and let me interact with the people I love to be with, etc., etc., etc. But it's not an exclusive thing when you get older. Maybe you realize it when you get older, but you can always also do it when you are younger. It doesn't matter. Um, I know a lot of young people, but something needs to happen. That's always the cruel. I think that's a cruel part in life. Something needs to happen. I mean, when young people experience something bad like a death or an accident,
mm,
right? Then they realize, young people who get paralyzed, for example, um, from today to tomorrow, their total mindset changes, and it has to change because otherwise, um, I always use the Christopher Reeve story. I'm a little bit older. I don't know if you know him. The one of the actors who played Superman,
mm.
one of the
Yeah, I
first,
know.
I think, or second, I don't know, Christopher Reeves, big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he had all the success. He was Superman, right? And at some point, he falls from his horse and he gets total paralyzed,
Oh,
totally.
damn, I didn't
He can
know that.
only, yeah, he got totally paralyzed. He could only speak with they need to like breathe.
Mm-hmm.
They even had to breathe for him. And in his book, he says, falling off my horse, looking back at it, was the best thing that could happen to me.
Mm,
That's what he said. And it's a beautiful thing when you can say that, because that means that at some point something happens with him and he started living, he started really living. But again, we don't need to wait for that. We can do it now when we are healthy, when we are young. When you can always start. living. You can start things you love. You can follow your heart. Um, Not always easy. It's simple, but it isn't easy.
What does it mean to really live for you?
Huh, I think I think the older I no, I think it is always like that. It's being around people that you are really want to be with, and most people have a handful of them,
Mm,
not more,
mm,
and it's okay. I think also through social media, we need to have a million followers, and we need to have so and so many friends on Facebook. Um, you don't need that. Yeah, you need it for business. If you want to sell
mm,
something, yeah, then you need clients. That's another thing. But in your life, I can count them on my
mm.
one hand the people that I really love and that I really love to be with. The people that if I am 1 hour with them, or if I am 3 hours with them, it seems like 3 minutes. These kind of people, you know.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's and that there has to be nothing else. You just go out with them, you drink a glass of wine, or in my case, you smoke a cigar or whatever. Just being with them is enough. Just talking with them, being with them. For me, that's the thing. And one of them is my wife and son. That's one of the two. And then I have a few very good friends, and that's it. But it's more than enough.
Yeah, for me, that's a great definition of what peace is. And finding peace is
Yeah.
being okay with where you are right now, with the people you're around. And if you were to die tomorrow, you'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's a hard one, but it's actually like that. Yeah, and it's again, it's not in the achievements. It
Mm,
is really not in the achievements. If you have achievements, that's good. Huh? I mean, whatever the achievements are, but happiness doesn't lay in that. Actually, there are people who, a lot of people that asked people that were about to die, okay, what was now the most important thing of your life? And nobody will say, oh, it was the moment that I bought my Ferrari, or it was the moment that I bought my house, or it was the moment that I got my first million. Nobody will say that. They will all, it will always reflect to people. They will be like, oh, it was those moments I had with my father. It
mm.
was this, it will always be related to
The
people
human
and never the
connection.
things.
Yeah.
Every time. And if there's one thing that I really hate about what's going on now with all the social media stuff.
Mm.
It's the dehumanization of things.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy that in your case, I got one email to confirm this conversation. You know, in some podcasts, I get first I get 3 or 4 emails that it's okay that I am on the podcast. Then it starts 2 days in advance. Kindly remember that the day before, I get 3 of them. Kindly remember. The day of the podcast, I get an SMS, a WhatsApp, and again 7 emails. I'm not kidding here, right? And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. One is
Yeah.
enough. And if you're not sure of that one, call me, WhatsApp me, whatever. If I don't react, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not accepting anything, and you say, okay, I think there's something else, you can call me, you can text me. That's another thing. Oh man, the connection is really
I
gone. You
think
know,
that
it's
has to
so
do with
everything
trust
is
too.
automated. As a
Yeah.
coach, I get I'm not kidding. I get every week I get somebody who says, "Hey, we have this IA program. We will automate everything in your business."
Oh, AI.
I don't
AI.
need my business to be automized. I work with people. I'm de-automizing things
Yeah.
on my website. If you go to my website, there's no Calendly link. You just there's a contact form. Fill in the contact form. Fill in your phone number and tell me what you want to talk to me about. I will call you, or I'll do you an email. I will contact you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Get the sorry.
nah,
Get the F away with your Calendly.
nah, you could say it.
I will call you. You know, and I don't want you to book an appointment like in 3 months time. I don't know where I'm going to be in 3 months. Maybe I'm dead already, right? The first few weeks is good. Even the week after is okay. If you don't have the time to speak to me, It's now what day is it? It's Thursday, right?
Mm,
If you don't have the time to speak to me within next week Friday, that's within a week. If you don't have time, go. I don't want to speak to you. Then you have your thing. You're busy. Good for you.
mm,
Be busy. Be busy. I'm not interested.
mm,
But if you want to make some time to speak with me or whatever, okay, then it's within the week. If you cannot do that,
yeah.
leave it. I'm not interested. Go do your thing. And I know it sounds hard, but it's we are dehumanizing ourselves, and we need humans around us. That's what I just told you. We need humans to be happy. What we are doing is dehumanizing everything,
That's the one scary
and
thing.
that's a scary thing. In my opinion, that's a really scary thing. What's happening right now, and it's happening everywhere. It's with AI. And
Yeah.
you know, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with AI. I don't think it's wrong.
Mm,
I think I use it sometimes. Even it's convenient sometimes. But when it takes away the human connection,
mm,
then I think it's wrong. It can never replace a human. It will
mm.
never replace a human. It will not.
That's what I have.
And if you learn, yeah, if you
Yeah.
learn it to have feelings, that it will not be genuine
Yeah.
feelings. It will
Yeah.
be feelings like you thought it. So it will never be a machine. Will never be a human. That's impossible.
That's funny because I had just got done finishing this animated series on Netflix. It's a new Terminator.
Yeah,
They remade a new Terminator with
yeah,
um, you heard of Terminator, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's a new animated version on Netflix. It's actually really really good. But that was one of the key story pieces. Was there was one robot that basically learned how to become a human, and
Wow.
people were still conflicted with her because the whole war is against the machines. So she
Yeah,
was looked at as a machine, but she was the creator. Basically, spent decades with her as just a human to human, and helped him raise his kids and everything. And they still wanted to kill her. So it was just,
yeah.
it was
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, again, it will go either way. It will go as it goes, right? Um, but for humans to be happy, and I think a lot of humans want to be happy. I think everybody wants to be happy.
Mm-hmm,
You need this human touch, this human connection,
mm-hmm.
um, and we had the proof of that during COVID. We had the proof. COVID proved and learned us a few things.
Oh
And one
yeah,
of the things it learned us is that we need human connection. Here in Belgium, at that point, we couldn't go out. We could only see one or two people, right? In our, how do you call it? They had a name for it, whatever. And you felt bad because you couldn't, you know, my mother was in a care house that time. She passed away in the meantime. I could not visit her. I wasn't allowed to visit her. So what I did, she was at the first floor of the care house, first floor. I took my phone, I called her, and she was one up. We were calling each other one up. That was how we communicated. Can you believe that? If you think about it now, that's something you would see in a movie, but not in real life.
mm,
That was real life for me during a long time. I think 4 or 5 months,
mm,
maybe half a year. I don't know anymore. That's a long time. Eh? I couldn't touch her. I couldn't see her. I could see her like one floor up, and which was not immediately under the floor, which was like a whole
yeah,
thing away. So I saw her, but now really see her. That was the situation. So I mean, if we learned anything from COVID, it has to be that. It has to be that we need this human connection. We need to hug people. We need to talk to people, communicate with people, go and have a beer with people, etc., etc., etc.
yeah.
We really need, as a human race, we need that.
I think during
We need
COVID,
that.
there was an increase in depression, anxiety,
Of course,
alcohol, drug abuse,
of
um,
course.
because we didn't have that connection.
I agree. I totally agree. A lot of things with a lot of people went wrong. there was also a good side of it, because a lot of people started to realize that what they were doing, that it didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. That's the good side of it. You know, a lot of people changed direction. A lot of people, um, I call it their mental fitness,
Mm-hmm.
was not really okay. It's like your body fitness. If you don't walk, if you don't do sport anymore, you get blobby and you don't. So that was going on in a lot of people's minds. So they did, yeah. So they did a lot of. They started to do fitness with their minds, and so of course good things came from it too. But yeah, again, if there's something to learn from it, it's humans needs humans. No machines, no social media. We don't need that. It's all interesting. Yeah, I it's a guilty pleasure of me to take my phone when I'm on the toilet and to watch reels all the time. The guilty pleasure, right? And I stay longer. Sometimes I stay longer on the toilet because I'm looking at reels.
I need to get
So it's
out.
a
I
guilty
need to get
pleasure.
out of here.
It's my guilty pleasure. But and I even like it. And some people are really creative with these reels. I love
Yeah.
it. But but it's not more than that. For me, it's social media is not more than entertaining. Sorry, it's not more than that.
Yeah.
Um,
I see it
you
as a
can you
tool.
can.
I see it as a tool
It's a
for
tool.
opportunity for me at least.
It's a tool. It can be an inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
but then there has to be the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody says, "Oh, this guy is inspiring me," that's all fine. But you can't learn to swim by reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
You have to plunge in the water. You know, in NLP is what I followed always is the land, the map isn't the real road, right? It's they are totally different things. If you have a map and to guide you through a forest, you know, the heat isn't on the map, the mosquitoes aren't on the map, your clothes that are getting wet isn't on the map, you sweating isn't on the map. On the map, 1 centimeter is just 1 centimeter. In the forest, 1 centimeter is maybe a mile full of dangerous animals and stuff. And that's what's happening with social media. That's what's happening with the internet. It's not real life. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a map of real life. But real life is something totally different. And more people are starting to think that what's going on the internet is real life. And that's a mistake. And yeah, well, as long as they at some points see that it's a mistake, it's okay. But some people are really going deep into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But at some point, they will realize, okay, this is not what is making me happy. This is not.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day ago about how the internet is a great resource to connect with people, but it's also
Absolutely.
disconnecting us from reality.
Yep. Yep. Um, I had it. I had in my also during my coaching career, I had a lot of, especially during COVID, a lot of online communication, and you can connect with people online. I mean, like we are talking now, right? This way, that you can connect. You can never connect like you can connect in real life, but
Mm-hmm.
you can connect. But then it's to talk to each other. It's we are now almost talking an hour, and now we are feeling the connection. We are feeling each other, but it's because we are talking for an hour. We could have never done that by chatting with each other or connecting on
Or
whatever
text
platform.
messaging.
Never,
Yeah.
never, 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 never. Um, and young people need to relearn it. You know, when I
Yeah.
was young, there was no texting and there was no, you couldn't, a phone was to call and a mobile phone was as long as the cord was, that was a mobile phone. If you had a cord
Yeah.
of five yards or 5 meters, then then
Or
your
you had
mobility was five
like
meters.
the giant brick ones.
The giant with the circle you formed.
Yeah.
That was our communication, you know. And if you had to meet with somebody, you said, "Hey, it's Eddie. Yeah, you want to meet on Saturday? Yeah, yeah. Okay, we meet at 8, right? Yeah, right. 8, where? In front of the church. Okay, in front of the church 8. Okay, and at Saturday you went at 8 in front of the church.
Mm-hmm.
There you met. Then you went to whatever. That was how we. Now, if you do it now, you have a WhatsApp group, and the meeting place changes, the hour changes. Nobody is on time because hey, I'm running late. Sorry, I'm running late. The other one says, yeah, I'll be there early, but I'm now. And every this communication is going on. So much communication, but nobody is telling anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we just met at 8 o'clock in front of the church. If the other person wasn't there at 10 past 8, we left because we had no means
Mm-hmm.
of reaching in or her. We left, and that was okay because you weren't there within a reasonable time. We left, and maybe something happened, maybe something didn't happen. Didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the place we were going, and if the other person wanted to join us, he knew where we were going, right? That was also something he knew where we were in that pub or that we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And if they came later, they found us there, it was okay. If we left in the meantime, yeah, that was bad luck. But I don't even know what I tried to say. It's like I don't even know anymore.
No, it's just
There's a lot of means to connect with people,
but we're not really connecting.
but we're not connecting.
Yeah.
We're not connecting at all.
Yeah.
That's what I say. What I say. Young people need to use the phone again, not WhatsApp, not text, phone.
Mm.
And what's very funny, if you ask my generation, okay, make a phone call, they do like this, right? If you do this generation, they do like this.
Uh,
They're speaking like this. So even that's changed. Even the way you make a phone call
oh
changed.
yeah, I do that.
Well, I don't know if that a bad or a good thing is. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, most people are doing phone calls like this. They're on speaker with.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not telling it's a bad thing, but that shows how things have changed,
Changing, yeah.
and people need to make phone calls again. If you and me wanna have a date next week to have a next call, say we want to have a next call, and we need to do that by text, it will take us much longer and it will be much more frustrating
Mm.
than if we say, hey, when take your client agenda. Okay, when's good for you? Can you do Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, what time? Okay. 8 good for you? Yeah, good. Okay. 8 in our agenda. Finished, done.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. And we saw each other or we heard each other. It's a different thing, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not sure of it, there will be a pause. I will ask you, hey, and then can you do 8? And there will be a pause. And then if you say, yeah, I can do it. See, I feel the
Oh
hesitating
yeah,
now.
yeah.
I say, okay, it's okay. Let's do another thing. You don't feel and see that
Yeah.
in a text. You don't. So you don't know what's going on with the other. Maybe the other doesn't want to see you, but you feel it. Here we go again with this feeling. You
Yeah.
feel this when you call
It's the
somebody.
nuances.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. When you want to go on a date with a girl, and you want to do it via text message, it's a challenge. Yeah? You call her, you know immediately within the first seconds, you know if she's interested in going out with you or not.
Mm.
And you're not wasting your time
Oh
messaging,
yeah,
WhatsApping
yeah.
the whole day. Which at the end of the day, you get the answer. No, not, let's not do it. A whole day. It takes you a whole day.
No, that's good
It
advice
takes you 10
for
seconds in a
the
phone call.
younger.
10 seconds and then seconds. Oh, okay, you're not interested. Okay. And you call the next
Yeah.
one, right? And otherwise, you'll be hanging on a whole day. Yeah, I'm not sure. My friend is going there. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, all via text. Huh?
Yeah.
And you never know what's going on with that person until there's an answer, a clear answer at the end. No, I don't want to meet you, or it's not convenient, or whatever. Phone call, 10
I want to
seconds.
know, how does having the attitude of a clown or comedian or humor, whatever it is, how does that improve our life in a way? Because when you think of comedian, clown, humor, you think you're not serious, or you're just funny. That's his personality. How do you take that and apply it to the serious aspects of life?
Well, I hope you can tell me. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. And you've ticked the wrong thing there. You ticked the right box. It is very difficult for people to take you seriously when you are a clown. Um, but on the other hand, humor and laughing, if you take it medically or scientifically,
Mm,
it brings on serotonin and all these good stuffs in our body, right? So
yeah.
only for that we should do it. Uh, it's also a way of coping with this world, which can be really cruel at sometimes. Coping with it, that's also a thing. But if you want to be taken serious, I think the best thing you can do, or what I can do now, is just being honest with myself, with people, and let them feel and know, look, this is who I am. This is what I can help you with. This is what I can teach you. This is what I can show you, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And if you don't want it, it's okay. I'm a big fan of Robin Williams, of the late Robin Williams,
You know,
and
I was gonna
his
say,
best, yeah,
I was gonna ask you, how
is
many times have you been told that you resemble him?
a lot of times, yeah. And it used to be more when I still had some hair and
Yeah,
no
I
beard. It
just
used to be
couldn't. It was
more.
like in the back of my head. Like,
Who is
am
this
I
guy
talking
remembering me,
to
right?
Robin Williams, like cousin
Yes.
or something?
But it's for me. Yeah, for me, it's a big compliment because for me is one of my heroes. Uh, but what I wanted to say is his best roles. He played his best roles in serious movies. There were his best
Mm,
roles. It was a medium, but his best roles were in serious movies.
yeah, I actually
Um,
loved his. There was this one movie, I forget the freaking name of it, but it was so old. I remember watching it growing up, where he was like
the
traveling in
teacher.
paintings or something. Like he was in
Oh
paintings.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
I
one.
don't
Yeah,
even
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's called. I just
Yeah,
remember
I know which one you used. Yeah, yeah. But there's one movie and also the title it was
or Goodwill Hunting.
photography or picture where he plays the psychopath.
Mm,
1 minute photo, I think that the movie is called,
mm,
where he has his hair is like as white as a paper,
mm,
and he has this white look. So he plays a kind of psychopath, and that's one of his. I think it's one of his best roles he played.
mm.
Not there are not many people who know the movie. I think it's 1 minute photo. I think that's the name of the movie.
I can look it up.
Or
But
1 minute picture, something like that. And he plays really a psychopath in it, and he does it so well. But that's the strength of somebody who
oh,
knows.
1 hour
It's
photo.
like yeah, it's like a rubber band, right? The more you flex it, the more flexible it is, the harder it will get back when you lose it. So
Mm,
somebody who's really funny, at some point he will get it, and that's exactly what happened to Robert Williams, by the way, in his personal life. Um, so yeah, here the same principle. But to come back at your question, it is hard to be taken seriously. It's a little bit easier for me now because I'm getting older. People have a little bit more respect, and that's not disrespectful said to people. It's just like it is. When you get older, people tend to listen to you a little bit easier than when you're young and you are trying to tell people
yeah.
things, because the things that I am telling you now, I am telling them now for 20 years already, right? And the first 10 years of that, nobody listened. Then the
Mm,
next five, people started to listen. And now it's going,
yeah, I
but
think because
slow,
people associate age with wisdom. I think that's what it is.
Maybe it can be that. But it is difficult as a funny person to be taken serious. It's a challenge. Let's call it that.
You have this quote that you posted on your Instagram that I liked. It said, "Stop taking shortcuts in life. They only work when you know the way." It's that simple.
Yeah. So what do I mean with that is, that's also a little bit what's going on now. People think or they did something and they give you a blueprint. Look, I made this much money. Here's how I did it. Here you have it. Do as I did, and you will take that much money. That is the biggest load of crap there is. And I'll tell you why. Because you are not the person that gave you the blueprint. You are not as old. Maybe you're a different race, a different upbringing, different culture, different country. Everything about you is different than the person who gives you this blueprint. So what it means is you have to go through all these things that that person has had to go through. You cannot skip certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. And what he is saying, you can skip all things and go just from in 1 month from 0 to 10K a month. That's what they tell you. You cannot you cannot do that. Yeah, maybe a few if you're lucky, or if you had already a past where you learned some things. Otherwise, forget it. It does not work that way. You have to make the mistakes in life. You
Mm-hmm.
have to make them. If you don't make them, you will not advance. You need the mistakes. You need the downs in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, I mean, an airplane only takes off because there's headwind, right? If
Mm-hmm.
there's no headwind, it cannot take off the plane, right? So you need all these mistakes. So, and that's what I think. That's what I mean with if somebody tells you, "Oh, there's a shortcut," it's no use to take it because you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're going. So don't take the shortcut. I know the long cut is harder, and I know, but if Arnold Schwarzenegger says, "Hey, you got to do these reps, you got to do these reps every day, right? You need to practice your biceps, right? I did it. You can do it too." Eh? If he says that, that was true for him.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't true for you. You have another body type. You are not an Austrian who was so motivated to make it here. And I don't know what his motion. He had a passion. You don't have that passion that he has for bodybuilding. Maybe you have it, but 9 out of 10, then you won't have it. You won't have that much passion like that guy had.
Mm-hmm.
You are a different person. So the things he did won't work for you in 99% of the cases. They only will work for a little people that are like him, right? They have the same build of body, they have the same muscle build, they have the same mentality, they have the same passion, etc., etc., etc. Although I love the guy and what he says is true, it is true what he says, right? All the things, the steps he took. But when you take all these steps, you're not necessarily going to have success.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's wrong. That's what people have to stop saying. Hey, do like me and you will be successful. No, do like me. Okay, you can try that. And then we'll see if that works for you.
Yeah.
That would be the right approach.
How do, or what would you tell somebody that doesn't know what they want to do?
Try things.
Try things.
Try things until you know. Just try things.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what sport you like, how are you going to find out if you don't try things?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know which sport I'm going to do. Okay, go to soccer practice. No, I don't like. Okay, go to basketball practice. No, I don't like. Okay, next day go to, or next week, whatever, go to volleyball practice. Go try something out. And maybe the conclusion will be after this trying out, I really don't like sports.
What about
Maybe
the
that could be the conclusion.
what about the fear? Because sometimes people, they know they need to try things out, but they're afraid to try things out.
There are only two fears that we are born with. It's the fear of heights and the fear of loud sounds. That are the only two fears that exist in human life. All the other fears or somebody taught us, somebody told us to be afraid of spiders or showed us.
Mm.
If your mom jumps 1 meter high, if there's a spider in the room, you will be afraid of spiders. There is no coming under out of it. Even if she doesn't tell you that she's afraid of spiders, throughout your childhood, you will feel her fear of spiders at some point. You will pick it up. So every fear you have, somebody showed you, somebody told you, or whatever. Right? Don't do this, don't do that. That's when they tell you.
Mm.
It's mostly they show you. So every fear you have is non-existent. That's what I say to people. There are no fears except the fear of heights and the fear of loud sounds. That are the only two fears that are real for people. That is also hard to get by. So somebody who is afraid of heights, it's a hard one. That's a hard one to get off with. It can be done, no problem, but it's a hard one. And all the other fears, fear of public speaking, fear of this, fear of that, fear of public speaking often resides from, like I grew up in just I had my parents were just working class, right? And they said, don't put your head above everything because that's not good. Keep down, keep low, just find a job, right?
Mm,
So that thing could reside in fear of public speaking, because when I speak in public, I pull myself literally above everybody. I stand higher, right? So that could be the
yeah.
fear. So every fear you have, every single fear is fake. Somebody told you in your life. Sometimes it's very hard to know from where it comes,
Mm-hmm.
but every fear can be conquered. And the way you conquer fear is to accept them. Look, I am afraid of heights, and then to face them, to try to overcome them. And you can only overcome them by doing it. If you are, let's say, your fear of playing football, of being, or in your case, yes, football is the American football, right, where they tackle
Uh,
each other and stuff. You fear of that, right? Go do it. That's the only thing you can. And then maybe you have a practice and say, oh man, it's even worse than I thought. Okay, it's not for you. But maybe you have the other thing and you say, oh, this is fun.
mhm.
You go do it. So with fear, you can only get rid of a fear by facing it and by just going into the wind. And if you don't do it, it's also okay. That
Mm,
means you're not passionate enough, and that means actually that really you don't want it.
yeah.
So if there really is something that keeps on pushing you back and you keep on pushing it back, that means you've got to find a way around it, or you got to change direction.
Mm,
If you have a wall and you keep smashing into the wall and you say, I'm going to break it, I'm going to break it, I'm going to break it, and you keep breaking your nose, right? Maybe it's time to walk right or left and see where the wall ends
mm.
and just walk around it. And that will take you some time, right? Maybe the wall is like 1,000 miles wide.
Or climb
You have
over
to walk 1,000 miles or go.
it.
See what I mean?
Well, at the end of all of my podcasts, I play this game, Where Should We Begin?
I'm
And
curious now.
I already pulled out a question. And the question is, can you share something that's embarrassing about the person whose death I am most afraid of?
So, can you repeat the question? The person. No, can you move into the screen? I can't move the other way. No, the other way. Yes. Person who's dead, I'm most afraid of. Oh, that's well. I recently lost my mother. She passed away in May. She was 93. Um, my father died already a little bit before that, and it's really hard to lose a mother or a father.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the next one that you don't want to lose is your child
Mm-hmm.
or your wife or your loved ones. It has to be your loved ones. I mean, but afraid is not the word. I don't think it's in my mind. Oh, I'm afraid that this person dies or this person dies, because then at the meantime we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you forget to live, right? So afraid, no, I'm not afraid of anybody dying, because, but I also told you everybody dies, and dying is the way the world works
Mm-hmm.
and our lives work, and everything works like that. So dying actually is a good thing, which is sometimes can be hard for people to accept and to learn. Um, but at some point, dying is a good thing, and everybody dies. So I'm not afraid of anybody dying in my surroundings, I will be very sad. And I mean, I rather have somebody that I don't know die than somebody in my close environment. Although I don't wish it, because for the people in his surroundings or her surroundings, it's just as bad.
Mm.
So that's I think that's duality of life. I think, and that I think that really sums it up. Um, you know, every day, millions, yeah, probably millions of people die every day. It's just the one that's close to you that that touches you, that reaches you.
Mm.
Or I think that sums life up.
The circle of life.
That's the circle of life, and then you really can't do anything about it. You have to accept it and make the best out of it.
That's touching. I have final questions at the end of my podcast, and the first question is, what is your biggest regret?
That's also something, you know, when you're into something, you can't have regrets, because otherwise you didn't do it. And if you have regrets, that means that you did things that you should have done, you didn't do it. So
Mm.
regrets, I think the only regrets I have is that sometimes I was a real asshole to my parents.
Mm.
Things that's the biggest regret. Seeing that now, but that was when I was younger. You know, when I was older, certainly with my mother, and as her last years, we were very close. She was close to me here where I live in the care house. Um, but if there is something I regret, then it's being an asshole to my parents. That's the thing I regret.
Why do you think you regret that?
Um, because I now know that it hurts them a lot.
Mm.
Now I realize that it must have been in that time. Although I made it all up, I made it all good, right? That's not a problem. But I know now that in that period that I was an asshole, that must have hurt them
Mm.
intensively. That's why I regret it. Wasn't necessary
Yeah,
at all.
it's hard, especially as like when you become a parent. I think you truly understand what it takes to be a parent once you become a parent yourself, and then you have this different respect that I don't think people can truly experience unless they become a parent
Well,
themselves.
it's true. Um, you know, you can only guide them that much. And here goes the same. You can just um, deeds mean more than words here too, right? If you get into a discussion with your children, it can be fun, it can be good, everything you want. But at the end, it's not about that. You know, they have their ideas. Let them do their ideas. If they want to, yeah, dye their hair pink, let them dye their hair pink. They can only learn it. Um, yeah, there's this guy on social media who's discussing students the whole time. I don't know his name. Sometimes see him in reels, and sometimes I think, man, why? Why are you discussing these things with they will figure things out themselves. Why are you mocking them? Why are you saying to them, you shouldn't for college, you don't learn anything in college? Yeah, so it's their lives. Don't why are you messing with their lives? It's
Mm.
their lives. They are in college, okay. And if they don't want college, they will fall out and they will figure it out. And if they have regrets afterward that they followed college, then so be it. You know, there is not a life without regrets. That is so. Leave people be. Let them find their way.
Yeah.
Um, and if they ask for help, give it to them. And sometimes you give them advice, and if they don't take it, yeah, at least you told them, right? You can't do any more than that. Mm. And I think that's, if I want to say something to parents, is that You can only guide them as much. They will make their own choices, and some of them will be bad, but still their choices. You can tell them 1,000, a million times not starting to smoke, and some of them will start to smoke. You
Yeah,
can't do anything about it. Anything.
I think that's just,
But it's their choice. It's their choice.
yeah, I think a lot of parents just have to understand that that's part of human autonomy, is especially when you become a teen. I think when you become a teen, something in your brain like switches where it's like, wait a minute, I can kind of do whatever I want.
Yeah, but they have to know, right? That you can tell a small child a million times, stay off the hot stove,
Mhm,
stay off the hot stove. And at some point, he will come too close and
mhm,
touch the hot stove, and then he says, "Ooh," he goes like this, and then you say, "Okay, see, I told you." That you don't even have to say that. They know now.
mhm,
Now they know. So they have to experience things before they know. So telling them not to take drugs is useless.
mhm.
They will take drugs. Everyone in this world will try a cigarette at some point. Right or not? Everybody. There's not a single person in the world who didn't try it at least,
Yeah, I tried it.
just out of curiosity.
I
And
didn't like it.
sometimes with a cigarette, sometimes drugs, sometimes this, sometimes that. And then, of course, when you try it, it's your what am I going to do with it? Am I going to smoke? Am I going to take drugs? Then it's your decision.
Mhm,
And from your decision comes consequences, right? And it's you can't stop people doing things. You
mhm.
can not. People will do things when they want to do things, and they will find a way to do it.
Yeah. Who or who or what has made the biggest impact in your life?
My father. It's also funny. The older I get, the more I resemble him. Also, if
Mm,
I look at my hands now, which is really funny, I'm sure if my father was still alive, we both put our hands in at the about same time. Our hands are identical. Even these brown things, they are practically identity. So not only do I look resemble my father more, um, each day that I live now, I realize what an impact he had on me, on my
mm,
life. Without saying much, my father wasn't a man of words. I remember him when I was performing my clown show. I performed it more than 1,000 times. And there was a time that he went with me to help me carry things and stuff. And he was always in the back row, right? And sometimes I would look at him, and even with the 500th time, he saw that joke for 500 times, he was still laughing with it. That's a moment I will never forget. That's
mm,
one, but that's also how he supported me,
mm,
right? He was always at some point he was always there without telling much, but I only had to ask him, and halfway the question he would always say yes.
mm,
He didn't know even what the question would be. So he had this support that he gave me, and but also that I realized afterwards. I realized that at the time, I always said thank you and stuff. That's another thing. I was never disrespectful or stuff. But the real impact I got from all what he did was after his death, which was pity actually. Now, in the years before his death, we had a wonderful connection. Because he had a stroke at 75, but he died at 85, so he still had 10
mm,
years. And we had a very good connection in the end. Then we talked. I never talked to my father. I haven't. I think the first time I spoke to my father, really spoke to him, was when he was like 80 years old.
oh wow.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We didn't speak. We knew we loved each other and we supported each other, but we didn't have conversations. My father was a man of one sentence or no words. Hey, Dad, how are you? Mhm. Yeah. That was it. That was it. Um, and but I saw his body language was very strong. I always saw at him when I came in the house. I knew that he was proud. I knew it was this. And, I played when I was a kid. I played basketball. And he was always there to even when we played not in our hometown when we played out. He was always there, and he didn't say much after a game. He didn't say, "Hey, you did this or you did that." Sometimes, but most of the times when we won, he said, "Hey, good." And when we lost, he said, "Oh, too bad." That was all he said. But you knew he was just supporting me, and that was something I realized later on. Um, and yeah, that's why I still miss him until this day.
So,
I think you don't talk about supporting people; you just support them. You don't
mhm,
want a credit for it; just support them, and you don't advise is like you can do, but be careful with advice. Let them do things. As we said, you can't stop them anyway.
mhm,
Um, just support them. Let them feel that you support them. Like my father, he came to every game I played. That's letting somebody feel you support them. He didn't need to say anything. He was just there with every game.
mhm.
He was just sitting there. He was never applauding or cheering. Never. He just was there. My father didn't. Yeah, applaud maybe, but never cheering or something. Didn't do that. He was just sitting there. Never in the front row, always the back, but he was there. And I knew he was there. It was enough. And I think that's enough for people that they know you are there.
Mhm.
If you need something, that you're there. Also to children, you don't need to. Some children need that you talk with them, but and then you talk and you explain things. But my father knew well enough that I was very stubborn, still am, and that I would find my own way. He knew that, probably because he was too. Probably
Mhm.
not probably he was too. He was a very stubborn man. If he had something in his mind, he would do it.
Yeah.
So he knew that whatever he told me, I was not going to do it anyway. So he supported me by just being there, which was always very important. I didn't know at the time.
Mhm.
Afterwards, I realized how important that has been for me throughout my life, actually, as long as you did.
That's how life works sometimes, isn't it?
That's unfortunately sometimes how it works that you realize things too late, but that's how it works. Yeah.
What's one lesson that you had to learn the hard way?
I think telling myself bullshit. I think being not myself, um, going to do things for the money, not for the passion. I think that's the biggest one. Thinking, oh, there's money in it, let's do it. But actually, at some point, you give up anyways.
Yeah, I did that a
If
lot
there's not
too.
enough, you can like something, you can love something, or you can be passionate about it.
Mhm.
If you like something, you have a chance it works. If you love it, you have a bigger chance. If you're passionate about it, you have an even bigger chance. But there's never a certainty.
Mhm. What would you do if you had all the time and money in the world?
Exactly the same as I'm doing now.
It's,
And now at a point
yeah.
that I took another decision that I'm really going to be. I want to be back on stages, back on the thing that there's a decision that I took a long time ago, and I'm working now towards being more on stage. Um, yeah, I don't think I would do something else. The problem is if I had enough money to do nothing anymore, it wouldn't motivate me also. Why would I do something if I have the money? I can buy food. I can take care of the people I love. I don't know if I would do anything yet. What would be the purpose of doing some? Maybe I will. I think will write another book or write something or make some art even. Um, but what's the point, right?
Well, for
You have all
me,
the money in the world.
yeah, for me, the purpose means you're doing a selfless act of servitude that also aligns with who you are and fulfills you at the same time. I think that's what purpose is. So, like, for example, that's why I do this podcast, because if one person can listen and it could help them in a positive way or anything, I think that aligns with my purpose, because it's a selfless act that also brings me fulfillment, regardless
Mhm.
of the amount of money I make.
Yeah. See, money is a funny thing, yeah? And there has been studies also about it. What is the ideal money that a person can make every month? What's ideal? And I think at this point, I'm talking about euros, it's about 2,500 to 3,000 euros a month a person. So that means a family has around 5,000 euros a month. That's if there's more, it won't make you more happy
Mm-hmm.
because that money provides you with a good home, with food on the table, and you can take care of your kids. That's what that money does. And everything that's more is nice, but doesn't put you more. It doesn't give you more happiness. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you drive a Ford or a Ferrari, the Ferrari won't give you more happiness than the Ford. Maybe in the beginning, but after a while,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean anything anymore. So if these basic things are fulfilled, then it's okay. Then it's what you say. Then live your purpose, and then so yeah. I know a lot of people who just going to work in a factory and have this money every month just to do that, and they are perfectly happy, perfectly happy. They don't. They are happy to have their weekends free and to go and have a beer with their friends, and they are perfectly happy. They don't dream of earning 10K and being
Mm-hmm.
what else in the world. And that's for me. That's for me. It's beautiful. That's beautiful if you can do that. If you can provide your family, if you or your friends, doesn't matter in which other form you want to do it, with which other person you want to live with, it's all the same. If you can do that, I'd really be happy with it. It's I think it's beautiful. You know,
Same.
we are always looking for the deeper meaning
Luxury,
and
or yeah, yeah.
it's all fun, but at the end of the day, it's not important. It's really not important, but it's fun. Eh? Don't get me wrong. I would love to have a Porsche in front of my door. Would be fun. So not, I like cars, fun. But would it make me happier? I can answer that very positive and saying no, it won't make me happier. It will be fun, but it won't make me happier. That's difference.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference.
If there is one last thing you'd like to tell somebody, whoever's listening, what do you want to tell them?
You need the downs to get the highs, and that's what I encountered already a few times in my life. Uh, and that's what you hear other people say too.
Mm-hmm.
The best things happen to you when you are in deep shit. That's also perspective of a clown. The more clown works himself into trouble, the more the audience is going to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
If the clown walks with his face into a wall, which is very painful for the clown, the audience will laugh. So, but that's just his intention to make the people laugh. So the more he does these stupid things and the more he hurts himself, the more the people will laugh. And that's also true in real life. The deeper you're in shit, the more you will learn. It's only a question to not drown. And you have to take care of that. You have to pull out before it's too late. I did that a few years ago when my coaching business didn't take off. I was putting money in it, everything. It didn't take off. And at some point, I had to throw in the towel. If I didn't had to throw in the towel, then I wouldn't be sitting here now. Because financially, I would have myself getting into trouble. My family would have been in trouble. Everything, these are the moments in life that you need to make a choice. But I learned, and I'm still learning a lot about, and still climbing out of the hole now. But you need it. You need it to. It's painful to say, but you need it to grow. It's like a child when it wants to learn to ride a bike. You know that it will fall once in a while. You cannot learn to ride a bike without falling.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. And it's very painful. And you hurt your knee and maybe break a leg. But that's what you need to learn a bike. And that's what you need to learn to be happy. That's what you need to support a business. That's what you need in a relationship. That's what you need with the children. You, there are going to be lows in your life. And the better you can cope with that, the richer your life will be.
Thank you, Eddie. Do you want anybody to go follow you somewhere or what?
Connect with me on LinkedIn
LinkedIn?
and take it from there. If you want to have a talk, you know what to do. I don't have a Calendly, so go to my website, fill in the form. Website is eddysmits.com. But you'll find me if you Google me, you'll find me.
All right, whoever's listening, go check them out. And as always, stay curious, never give up. You got this. Peace.
Thank you very much for this call.
Thank you.